I'll just randomly like just put my hands on my eyes and press them. And this is something that my parents always nagged me about growing up as a child. They were like, stop that, like don't touch your eyes, that's bad for you. Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. When I was born, I was diagnosed with a visual impairment, so my videos revolve around blindness, being blind, and also just my life in general. So for this video, we're going to take it straight to the core with my disability in specific, which is Leber's congenital amaurosis. Just the long term for LCA, you could think of it as LCA, that's the more common terminology of it. Basically, it's a genetic disorder. And what we're going to do today, I thought it would be cool to sort of do an interactive reading with you guys where I'm going to be reading an article from the Fighting Blindness Foundation, which basically focuses on neurodegenerative eye diseases, and they have a very cool article on this disease in specific. So we're going to be using my computer's reader. This is to give you guys an experience of how I read on a day-to-day basis. I generally don't use my eyes to read from computers. I just use like my reader when it comes to articles and long things like that, because otherwise it would take me forever. So yeah. We're going to be reading through a few sections of this article, and I'm going to be sort of discussing my opinion and what I think of these sections based on my life experience. I hope this serves as an informative video to you guys so you guys can understand a little bit better of what I deal with and what, my condition is. So let's start.
What is Leber congenital amaurosis? Leber congenital amaurosis LCA is a group of inherited retinal diseases characterized by severe impairment vision or blindness at birth. Some retinal experts consider LCA to be a severe form of retinitis pigmentosa RP. The condition is caused by degeneration and/or dysfunction of photoreceptors, the cells in the retina that make vision possible. Photoreceptors capture light, converting it to electrical signals which are sent to the back of the brain to create the images we see. Mutations in one of more than 24 genes can cause LCA.
Alright, so that's basically what LCA. I feel like this description is a little vague. For beginners, yeah, it does provide a bit of an overview of what it is. It definitely is a neurodegenerative disease. That's something I've heard from doctors over and over and over again. Supposedly, most cases with LCA are supposed to diminish like vision over time. For me, I feel like I'm one of those rare cases where my vision has pretty much remained stable, so not necessarily like decreased, although my visual field has decreased according to my medical examinations, but it hasn't been like extremely obvious. I've also read that by the age of 25, like people with LCA in most cases are supposed to be completely blind. In my case, every time I go to the doctor, my visual capability remains the same according to the exams. So I guess I'm just lucky, because according to research that I've done before, this disease is supposed to degenerate your vision over time. So the next section on this article is the symptoms of LCA. So let's see what they have to say about this.
Symptoms often within an affected infant's first few months of life. Parents notice a lack of visual responsiveness and roving eye movements, known as nystagmus. Eye examinations of infants with LCA sometimes reveal normal appearing retinas. In other cases, several abnormalities are observed. Regardless, an electroretinogram ERG, which measures retinal function, detects little if any activity in the retina. ERG tests are often essential to establishing a diagnosis of LCA. A genetic test can often provide a definitive diagnosis. Many children with LCA habitually press their eyes with their fists or fingers. This habitual pressing on the eyes is known clinically as oculodigital reflex. The eyes of individuals with LCA can also appear sunken or deep set. Keratoconus cone shape to the front of the eye and cataract clouding of the lens through which light passes can occur with the disease. In some cases, other body systems, for example, kidneys, can be affected by the genetic defects that cause LCA.
Okay, so the first thing that this article is saying, the first couple of things I totally agree with, is something that definitely affected me growing up. I've also had nystagmus, which is, as she was describing, the involuntary movement of the eyes. This happens especially when there's light. So like if I'm in the dark, my eyes don't move, or like if there's no light to drag my eyes to the attention of the light, like my eyes won't move. But if I'm like at a restaurant and there's like this really bright light in front of me, my eyes automatically drift towards that light, and then they'll just start moving and moving and moving, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's completely involuntary, so definitely something that I've dealt with in my life before. The other thing that she was saying is the pressing of the eyes. Yes, I so agree with that as well. It's so annoying because like you don't even know why you're doing it, but I feel like a lot of times when I feel, I don't know, like when there's too much light or if I have a headache, I'll just randomly like just put my hands on my eyes and press them. And this is something that my parents always nagged me about growing up as a child. They were like, stop that, like don't touch your eyes, that's bad for you. So I guess after that I did learn to sort of control it, but even as a grown-up, it's something that just happens so automatically that I don't even realize it. And then by the time I realize my hands are on my eyes, I'm like, oh snap, like stop it. But yeah, I can totally agree with that. As of the other health conditions, I have never experienced any kidney issues or any other health problems, so that's not my case. But the first two things she said about the eye movement and the nystagmus is very true. All right, and the last topic we're going to look at is the inheritance of LCA.
Inheritance LCA is almost always passed down through the autosomal recessive pattern of inheritance. In this type of inheritance, both parents, called carriers, have one mutated copy of the gene and one normal gene. They are unaffected carriers of LCA. Each of their children has a 25% chance of inheriting the two LCA gene copies, one from each parent, needed to cause the disorder.
Okay. So yeah, this is something I've definitely heard before, although I've heard that the chances of developing LCA are 20%. I guess this is 25% now, I don't know. But my parents had 3 children in my case, my brother, my sister, and then I. And out of that 25% rate, my brother and I developed LCA, but my sister, who was the firstborn, the oldest, didn't develop LCA. So she has 20/20 vision, and then my brother and I have LCA. I will definitely bring him on a video in the future for you. He's just really shy, so he doesn't really like to be on camera, but I think it would be super fun to bring him on video. If you guys want me to do that, let me know. Feel free to let me know, and I will try to convince him to do so because I think it would be super cool. He's like my best friend. But yeah, so my brother and I both developed the disease. We don't even know where the disease came from, but unfortunately him and I developed it and my sister didn't, even though we are from the same parents, same everything, and then we just happened to get it. So I guess that's all about it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked the little class session of LCA, what it is, and I hope this taught you a little bit about my life, how I live on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, you guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to wrap it up now. Feel free to reach out to me if there's anything that you would like to know, and I will see you guys for my next video. Bye!